We use sentences all day, every day. But have you ever stopped to think about what they really mean? Is a sentence just a simple true or false thing? Or is there something deeper, some kind of nuance that logic just kind of missed for decades? Well, today we're going to explore a truly radical idea that completely flipped how we think about language itself.
All right, let's start with a little puzzle. How do we decide if two completely different sentences actually mean the same thing? Now, it sounds simple, right? But the traditional answer, well, it has a surprising flaw.
For instance, take these two sentences: the sun rises daily and water is H2O. Now, in classical logic, they're treated as identical in one really important way. They're both true. But hold on. We know they don't mean the same thing, not even close. One's about astronomy, the other's about chemistry. So if logic just lumps them together, what is it missing? This is the exact puzzle we're going to crack open today. To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand the rule that created the problem in the first place, a kind of box that logic put itself into for a very, very long time.
This rule is called Frege's principle. It's a huge foundational idea in classical logic, and it basically says that the reference, the real meaning of any sentence, is just its truth value. So according to Frege, the sun rises daily just points to the big idea of true, and water is H2O, that also just points to true. It's a super clean, simple system, but as we just saw, it loses all the rich nuance of what we're actually trying to say. But what if you just refused to accept that limitation? Let's meet the logician who dared to ask a truly radical question. And this was the question at the very heart of it all. What if a sentence's meaning is something way richer than just a simple true or false switch? The Polish logician Roman Suszko believed it was, and his work, well, it gave us the answer. So who was this guy? Roman Suszko was a brilliant mind from the legendary Warsaw School of Logic in Poland. He looked at Frege's principle and saw this massive limitation. He argued that sentences don't just refer to truth values, they refer to actual things in the world. And to make this official, he developed what we now call non-Fregean logic, a whole new system designed to capture this deeper, richer meaning.
So how do you break out of Frege's box? Well, Suszko's answer was to invent a new tool, a brand new piece of logical machinery to do a job that no other tool could.
He introduced what he called the identity connective. And yeah, it's symbolized by an equal sign, but, and this is a huge but, this is not your typical equal sign. In Suszko's system, this symbol doesn't just mean has the same truth value, it means has the exact same meaning, or refers to the very same thing. It's a way to finally talk about the content of a sentence, not just its truth. This new connective works based on three powerful but honestly pretty intuitive rules. First, reflexivity. Any sentence is identical to itself. Makes sense, right? A is A. Second, substitution. If two sentences are truly identical in meaning, you can swap them anywhere you want without changing a thing. And third, implication. If two sentences are identical in meaning, then yeah, they must also share the same truth value. And here, right here, is the absolute genius of Suszko's idea. That third rule, it only works one way. The reverse is not true. Just because two sentences share a truth value, like our sun and water examples, does not mean they are identical. This is the move. This is the key that breaks us out of Frege's box for good. Okay, so if the meaning of a sentence isn't just true or false, then what is it? What does this identity actually refer to out there in the real world? In Suszko's framework, when we say A equals B, what we're really saying is that both sentences describe the very same situation. We've moved from these abstract truth values to concrete situations. This is the whole foundation of what's called situational semantics. Let's make this crystal clear. Check out these two sentences. They're phrased completely differently, right? One is just simple, everyday language. The other is super formal, almost scientific. But what are they both describing? The exact same event. In Suszko's logic, we can finally say these sentences are identical. Why? Because they both refer to the exact same situation, the actual rain that's happening outside right now. So what does this new way of thinking actually unlock for us? It turns out this isn't just some philosophical party trick. It has profound implications for logic and really way beyond. So why does all this matter?
Well, for one thing, Suszko's idea gives us a unified framework to compare all these different kinds of logical systems. It gives logic itself way more expressive power, letting it talk about meaning in a much more sophisticated way. It even has applications in pure mathematics, and ultimately it allows us to create these incredibly powerful and complex logical systems. At the end of the day, what Roman Suszko gave us was a way out of the binary. He showed that logic could be about so much more than just true or false. It could be a tool for describing the rich, complex, messy situations that make up our world, giving us a far more nuanced way to understand what we really mean when we say something. And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? By challenging a fundamental assumption, Suszko found a whole deeper layer of meaning right where everyone else just saw a simple binary. It makes you wonder, if logic itself isn't just black and white, where else are we overlooking the nuance that truly defines our world?